Hello everyone, this is Suprita from Informatica, and today I'll be discussing with you about security feature in Metadata Manager. So the agenda for today would be I'll be giving you an overview of security features which are present in Metadata Manager and how to provide user or group access to catalog objects. I'll be also discussing about setting different permission levels, and after that I'll be giving you a small demo on this. So after this demo and this video, watching this demo, you will be able to understand how to control user or group access to all parts of the catalog and set different permission levels. And the reason why you need to know these is it's basically to protect the catalog from unauthorized access and enable users to see only what is relevant to them. So for security permission, Metadata Manager, user needs to be provided with permissions in the following two places. You need to provide privileges from the Informatica Administrator console, and also you need to provide permissions on different catalogs, which can be done from the Informatica Metadata Manager UI when you go to the security perspective. An administrator in general can provide privileges to a particular user, and he can do that through the Informatica Administrator. Secondly, a user can also be associated with roles. There can be different roles. You can either customize the role, or you can also preset action privilege groups such as administrator, basic user, intermediate user, and advanced users. And this can be modified per user by adding additional actions privileges. Through privileges, a user can be allowed to perform different tasks such as view business glossaries, view lineages, etc. Also, users can also be associated with a user group, and whenever you change any role or privilege for a particular group, the change is going to reflect to all the users who are present in that group. So in addition to providing privilege to a user in the administrator console, a user also needs to be provided with appropriate catalog permissions too. And this permission on a particular resource can be assigned only once the resource is created. So for example, a user may have basic user role but cannot actually view anything in the repository because she lacks permissions on all the resources. So specifically, once a user has been created and once a particular resource has been created, so that basic user will need to be provided with permissions to view that catalog object. The different types of permission levels. One is full control, which includes read and write permissions, and also this, if a user has full control, then the user can provide grant permissions to other users as well. The other thing is write, which includes read permission, and also if the user has write permission, then she or he can modify the objects. If a user has read permission, then she can view an object as well. And if the user has no access on a particular catalog, the objects will not be visible at all. And by default, the permission level for any catalog for any of the user is no access. So let's go on for a demo, and so that things are more clear to you. So here right now I'm logged into a into Informatica Administrator console, and I have a particular Metadata Manager service known as mm_nt_test. And here I'm going to add a new user who's going to be a basic user for me. So this is the security tab where the user can be added. So I'm just going to give the login name as BG user. So this BG user has been created. So once you click on to once it is created, you'll see there are two tabs, which is privileges and permissions. So in permissions, if you go on to the permission tab, for this BG user, you'll see that the access is not provided to any of the repository. So I am going to provide permission access to this. So for this BG user, you need to just edit the permission and provide access, allow access to it. Click on to OK once that is done. So once the access has been provided, you can go on to the privilege tab, and for the _NT test, if you just click on to edit, you'll find an option of different rules that can be given. So you can either provide the user as metadata manager basic user, or metadata manager intermediate user, or administrator, or advanced user. And similarly, if you go to the privilege tab, you'll see what all permissions are there. You can provide this user to just view lineage, or view glossary, draft, proposed business terms, managed glossary, or just have this user access to the load tab, and so on. So right now I'm going to, so for example, if you make this user a basic user and just click on to OK. So if you go to the basic user, this basic user, the privileges that has been assigned to it is this user can view lineage, view relationships, view model, view related catalog object, view comments, view links, and view catalog. That's all. That is the permission that's been provided to this user. So for example, if I go on and log into the metadata manager service as an administrator, then if you look at it, if you look at the load tab, there are so many resources which are loaded. If you look at the catalog, here are the many resources and that has been loaded. And for business glossaries also, we have quite a couple of business glossaries which are there. So here is one such business glossary which is there. So let me now log in as a BG user, and let me see exactly what kind of access this user has. So I'm logging as a BG user that I had created a little while ago. Okay, so here if you log into the MMUI as BG user, you will see that there is nothing, only the models are present, which only the models, he can view only the models, and there are no catalog objects which are present. So specifically this user needs to be provided with permissions on different catalogs. So the administrator or any user having an admin privilege needs to log in to the metadata manager UI, go to the security perspective, and configure security for that user. So for example, I'm going to configure it for this BG user. So here is the BG sample for which I want this user to have complete permissions. So I'll be going to BG user, and I'll be giving just read permission to this particular user on BG sample. So here if you see, here is the BG sample. And if you see, there are full control write, control read, no access, and permission not specified. So provide full control to this user and do apply and click on to OK. So once that is done, you can log in as BG user and see if you have access to the catalog. to the business glossary. So once you log in, you still see that the glossary is not present, and the reason for that is because in the privilege, this user does not have the privilege to view the business glossaries. So you will have to go and edit and add permission for this user to view the glossary. That's all. And so now the basic rule and the additional privilege that was provided to it will be there'll be a union of those two, of the role, metadata manager, basic user, as well as the additional privilege that I had provided. So once you log into the metadata manager UI as bg_user, you'll find that you are now able to access the bg sample. That's the only business glossary that you'll be able to view. The other catalog objects are not present, and if you see, this user will not be able to create any new terms, because this user has only read permissions on different terms. So there are no option for this user to create new terms or create any new business glossary. So similarly, you can provide different types of permissions for the user, and accordingly you can provide access to the user as per need. So different catalogs, the users can, it's not necessary that the user has access to the entire object, so you can selectively give provide permissions to the users. So to get more information, you can always refer to Metadata Manager Administrator Guide and Informatica Administrator Guide. It has enough information about security, permissions, and other information about Metadata Manager resources, resource load, and other things. And in case if you have any questions, you can either tweet us at the following address, as well as provide any feedback if you have at the following email ID. Thanks for watching.